Moments ago that Jassy Correia's body has been found. Her family telling us that she is dead. Sadly, this is a news conference right now from Providence Police. Let's listen in.
Evolved. We ended up following up on the investigation, and eventually, as you know, and as has been reported, a suspect is in custody in Delaware, and evidence of the crime is there in Delaware. We're following up with several agencies involved. The Boston Police Department, Providence Police Department, the local Rhode Island Attorney General's Office, the United States Attorney General's Office, and local offices of the FBI. All other further information will come from Delaware and from the United States Attorney General's Office.
Can you tell us about what evidence, there were reports that you found some bleach in the dumpster that would indicate Mr. Coleman's covered up a homicide or some sort of
At this point, I cannot. So I will tell you we conducted a search warrant of the apartment here inside 95 Chestnut, but I cannot talk about the details of what was uncovered in that search warrant, but you know, the details of that are available to the court.
Chief, was the body recovered in Delaware? Was there a body in the vehicle?
You can get that from Delaware.
Do you anticipate this will be a federal crime?
Potentially. There's several. It's multi-agency, multi-jurisdictional. There's a possibility. We don't know right now whether it will be Boston, Providence, or a federal agency who eventually takes the case. But it very well could be Providence, could be Boston, could be Delaware.
Was there surveillance video here, sir?
We are treating it as a homicide investigation.
And Chief, without obviously going into the details that would mess up the case, is there evidence that in the apartment there on the 6th floor that makes you feel good going forward with probable cause?
Yes, and we can't speak to the evidence in there. Again, that'll all be contained in the search warrant and the return of the search warrant. But the case is just evolving quite clearly with the amount of media here. It's a complicated case, multi-jurisdictional and multi-agency in the investigation.
How helpful was the surveillance video? How helpful was the surveillance video? I know there's cameras outside.
Very helpful. These days, with every investigation we have, we rely heavily on video, surveillance video of commercial areas, private areas, home videos. Very helpful.
Was it shown how he came and went, and was she here? And because Boston Police said his vehicle was seen in Providence this morning, and obviously he was taken into custody in Delaware.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about when and where we saw him on what campus.
Was Lewis known to you?
No.
Do you believe the victim was here in this building at some point?
We're not going to comment.
Do you know how long he had lived here on that second floor?
Not quite sure on that.
Can anyone else come forward to say that they have had strange interactions?
At this point, we haven't got enough investigation. As you can imagine, there's a lot of combing of the area for surveillance footage, for canvassing of other neighbors, of other businesses in the community, of other incidents we may have had here in Providence. All that takes place in the investigation, and it will play out. It'll be interesting.
And Chief, Miss Correia is deceased. You can confirm that? The young woman who was reported missing in Delaware? I'm sorry, out of Boston.
We have not confirmed the name of anyone who is deceased. We do have evidence of a body, but we have not confirmed who that is.
Any idea when he'll be extradited?
Sorry?
When he'll be extradited?
We haven't charged anyone.
Can you talk about the complexity of this case? Because you're talking about 3 states now, Delaware, obviously Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. So who takes precedence? In other words, the original kidnapping he's facing charges happened out of Boston, but he was arrested down in Delaware. So can you explain?
Right, that's always complicated with multi-agency. That's why we need to learn more about the case itself to find out where certain crimes were committed before we make a determination as to who carries the case.
The way the building is set up, is there a trash chute, like it would go directly into a dumpster? And we saw the crime tape around a lot of the dumpsters. Is there anything you can say about that?
Well, certainly we're looking at everything right now. I am not personally very familiar with this building, so we're looking at everything right now as far as evidence of the crime.
Do you know when Mr. Coleman was last here?
Is there any reason to think he's connected to any other crimes? I mean, he was up in Boston. It's a kidnapping of a 23-year-old woman. Is that something
At this point, I mean, but we don't know. The answer is we don't.
Because you don't know this guy. You don't know what he's been up to.
There's not much more we can say, but what I have said at this point, we don't know. The investigation has pretty much just begun, and we'll learn a lot more by the next couple of days.
Chief,
Bear some fruit.
we had heard that both the individual that apparently lives here and essentially the victim worked at Raytheon. Can you speak to any of
I
their
cannot
connections to
confirm.
Rhode Island? How old was he?
32.
Can you talk about just how quickly they're able to, from this morning, when they put this be on the lookout for this guy, to track him down to Delaware in the vehicle that they were looking for? So he's even on the move since the middle of the night?
I can't speak to how, but really good detective work all the way around. Really good coordination, communication between several agencies.
Where was he seen on surveillance in Providence this morning?
There is. We'll be on scene for a while.
Where was he seen on surveillance in Providence this morning? Was it in?
Right outside here. Yes, sir.
So he was last seen here this morning.
Last seen here on surveillance, I didn't mean to say today, but last seen in this area where he lives. So that's it for now. I mean, there's not much more we can say. There'll be more to come from the respective agencies. Right now, I think the ball is in Delaware's court. They have the evidence down there. I think they will release a little bit more. And then tomorrow, I'm sure that we'll have some follow-up. We're always open to release that information as we can.
Is it your understanding he drove the Nissan from here to Delaware?
We're not going to release that right now.
But Chief, you did confirm that there was a body found in the car down there in Boston.
Yes.
Thank you.
And was there any indication in his apartment that there was a crime committed? Was there any blood? Was there anything unusual left behind that
Not
you
going
could
to release
speak
that.
of? Thanks.
Which floor does he live on,
Thank
sir?
you.